Okay.
Hello, this is Jeff Gaudiosi, and you're on misplacedstraws.com where music comes to life. My guest today was on the site last year when he released his fantastic solo record called Two. He's back today with a new band called North Sea Echoes alongside his Fates Warning bandmate Jim Matheos. The record is called Really Good Terrible Things. It's out everywhere February 23rd. Please welcome Ray Alder. Welcome back, Ray. Oh, you
How you
there?
doing?
There you
Yeah.
go. Okay.
Sorry, I'm actually in Uruguay right now, so the Wi-Fi is a little spotty. I'm in a big house. I'm in the one spot that's quiet. So hopefully it'll stay connected long enough. But I'm
Well,
doing great. I'm
good.
doing great.
Yeah, we'll make it work. And like so when we spoke last year, you mentioned that Jim wasn't really interested in writing new music for Fates Warren. But
Yeah.
North Sea Echoes is so different from anything that Fates would put out. Is that really
Yeah.
what brought you and Jim back together, is doing something really new and different?
It was never a plan. It was Jim just called me out of the blue one day and said he was working on some new music, and his idea was instrumental, but he said, but he just kept hearing like a melody over the top, and would I be interested? And I said, of course, yeah. I mean, I would love to work with him again. And so he sent me a few songs to check out, and I loved it. I really loved it, and I really said, I think it's going to be difficult because I think the music is beautiful. I don't, it's going to be hard to write over this and not feel that I'm ruining something. But he said, give it a shot, pick a song, and I did, and I was open book, the one that's on the lyric video now. It just hit me, that song, and I finished that song so fast. For me, I probably finished the entire thing in 4 days, I think. That's the melody, the lyrics, and the actual tracking the entire song. There was a few changes in the bridge, but other than that, that was it. And that was when we knew that we were on the same page. Like, okay, let's continue with this and see what happens. Again, it was just a surprise, and yeah, and here we go, a full album later.
Yeah, and I think the name of the band fits the vibe of the music
Yeah,
perfectly.
yeah.
Why did you guys choose to go with a band name rather than a more recognizable, Alder Matheos kind of thing?
I think the band name thing was a struggle for us both. Like, we didn't really know what to do with it. Is it, and even still, people, I don't know. Is it a group? Is it a solo project? Is it a band? I don't know, because it's really just the two of us. We did have Gunnar play drums on 3 songs. Originally, that wasn't going to be at all. It was just going to be the two of us. But we felt that the songs actually needed real drums, just sort of to push it over the edge, push it over the top. So we couldn't do Alder Matheos or Matheos Alder because he'd already done Arch Matheos, so that was already taken. And it just seemed the logical thing to do was give it a name. And we did kid around. I'll tell you, it was a joke, literally, for about 2 seconds. That I said, why don't we just call this Fates Warning? And Jim said, huh. And then we both said, no, there's absolutely no way. No, it's not going to happen. First of all, Jim said that he was not going to write another Fates Warning album, and I respect that. And second of all, I just wouldn't want to disappoint the fans and not expecting, I know Fates Warning fans expect something else and not this. So it just wouldn't be right. So we just decided to go with North Sea Echoes. Yeah.
Well, and I think too that using a band name kind of frees you from expectations. A song like Flowers in Decay, that's not something that anyone would expect on any of the projects that you guys have done. So is it kind of freeing as well, having it be a name and something completely different?
It is. I mean, and not to I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for, not to be negative, I guess, is we wanted to do something different, and again use a name and we knew Fates Warning fans were going to pick it up because it's Jim and myself. But also sort of have a different identity and just kind of, try something else, try something different. I don't know, honestly, that anyone else outside of the Fates Warning realm would actually pick it up. But just to be different and not completely depend on the fact that we were both in Fates Warning and the songwriters. And so I don't know. We'll see. I'm happy that so far the fans are loving it, and that's all I could ask for, honestly.
And I want to talk a bit about your lyrics on Really Good Terrible Things. And yeah, I mentioned it briefly to you before we started, but I haven't been moved by a record like this in a really long time. Songs like
That's great.
stuff like Throwing Stones, We Move Around the Sun, No Maps. The images you evoke in this record are just absolutely beautiful. I mean, what influences you lyrically?
Honestly, the music. Once I start listening to the music, I don't mean to sound, flowers and incense, but it literally moves me. The music takes me somewhere. I listen to it, and this is what I picture in my head, and that's where I start to write. A lot of times when I'm writing melodies, I think I told you this in the solo thing. I'll just sing words that make no sense, and sometimes when I look back, they actually make sense because I do write down the vowels and the syllables and things so that I know what I'm doing when it comes time to write the lyrics. But with these, I just sort of started from scratch and would let the music and come up with a melody, and then I would start writing the lyrics for it. And so, I tend to write more of like human emotions. I don't. It's not for me to write about love stories and things like that. It's just not in me. Or let's have another beer, cool stuff. Which I enjoy listening to. It's just not what I write about. And I've heard from some journalists, it's really sad and this and that. And I say, what? It's not meant to be sad. It's just more of a. It's sort of feelings we all have, I think, from one time to another. And I think it's okay to feel alone sometimes. I think it's okay to not be jumping over rainbows all the time. It's fine to feel that way sometimes. And a lot of times I listen to music like this. I mean, I love like Hollow Coves and Nova More music, like acoustic bass, really beautiful type of music, ambient stuff. And I love where it takes me. I love putting on my headphones and just listening to the music. And that's what I wanted to do with this. I didn't want to paint a negative picture. I hope nobody thinks that, but it's just where my mind was at the time. And again, I'm not an unhappy guy. I'm in Uruguay for Christmas, on the beach, drinking beer. So it's just I think human emotions that we all have from time to time, and I felt like I needed to get that out. That's all.
Well, it's
If
funny.
that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, it does, because I've listened to this record a lot over the past couple of days, and I didn't take it to be negative. I took it as growing, as evolving, as kind of looking not necessarily back on your life, but just looking at the things around you and kind of getting a new appreciation.
Exactly. Again, human emotions are all part of us, and not all. Most pop songs I think are loved. I don't know if this isn't pop. It's just different. I get very ambient, and so it's music to open your mind or close your mind if you want, if you will.
But I think it also led to a difference in your singing. The textures that Jim creates on this record really allow you to expand your voice and your style beyond what we've heard from you before.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I love everything we do in Fates Warning, but I really like doing the quiet stuff. I always have. I like being able to sing and not yell and scream all the time. I mean, normally in the studio, I'm like pushing two compressors. I sing really loud. I sing improperly, first of all, but that's just how it is. And for this one, man, I was so happy. I just would wake up in the morning, get a cup of coffee. I have a home studio, and just I'd start singing, writing, And some of that was my voice actually not being warmed up enough, I guess. It's just how it was. But to be able to sing quietly for an entire album was just, it was such a treat, man. I got to tell you, like, I believe you're able to emote even more quietly than you are screaming. You know, I mean, there's the attitude, but yeah, it was a joy. It really was. Writing to me is one of the worst parts of being in a band. It really is. It's torture writing lyrics for me. I don't know if anybody else, but this is actually, it was a joy. I really looked forward. I was sad when it was over, to be honest with you. Oh, the funniest thing was when we did finish the album. We had 9 songs, and okay, well, that's over. And then about a week later, I guess Jim called me and said, I think it's too short, man. I think we need to add another song. And we had another song, which was The Mission, which we left out because it just kind of didn't fit. It was more boppy and up tempo than everything else. And we said, well, let's give that a shot. So I worked on that one. And I was a little apprehensive because I'm thinking, how are we going to make this fit? But I started working on that song, and that line, "Oh, I'm on a mission," it just stuck in my head, and that's exactly what I kept saying. I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission. I don't know. And my wife was like, "Why do you keep singing that line?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just stuck in my head." She can hear me in the house, and so yeah, that ended up being on the album, and so the whole point of that is I thought it was over, but we had that one last little one to work for. And that one probably took a couple of weeks, which was an interesting song for me. I thought I felt like it reminded me of like a spy movie or somebody sneaking around or something. So I decided to write about, sadly, a person with schizophrenia who is on a mission. He hears to eliminate, I guess. I don't know who. That's up to you to decide. But anyway, there's that story.
You talked about this a little at the beginning, but do you see North Sea Echoes as a project that you guys had in you and you were able to get out? Or do you see it kind of as a door to something new, or you're not quite sure yet?
Not quite sure. We never discussed, Jim and I never discussed what was happening afterwards. We really just, said, let's do this. And that was it. We were looking for different labels, and after a while, we just said, let's just see if Metal Blade wants it. We know completely different than anything Metal Blade puts out, and even what they're putting out now is more extreme than anything they've ever done. But we are great friends. We're basically family. We've known them for 40 years, and I know everybody in the office. Even in the European office, it's like just a family. And they were like, sure, of course. And so, so let's do that. But as far as anything else, the future, it's in the air. It really is. I don't know. I maybe it depends on what happens with this one, the success or not unsuccess of this album. We'll see what happens, I guess.
And when we talked last year too, you'd mentioned that 2024, it's the 40th anniversary of Fates. You were kind of hoping that maybe there'd be a couple of special shows or something to commemorate the occasion. Anything that you can tell us about?
I can say that we are in talks right now to see what can be done this year, actually. There's talk of stuff in 2025, but then I spoke with Jim not 2 days ago, and we're looking into doing some shows in 2024. Hopefully late the end of the year. We'll see what happens. We'll see. I would love to. It'd be great.
What else do you have on the schedule? We see another solo album, another A to Z record. Do you know where you're
doing?
Thank you.
Yeah, right now I took a break from the AZ to come on vacation. I've been on vacation for a month now, which is the longest vacation I've ever had in my life. And I'm itching to get back. So yeah, I'm working on the AZ album. We have several songs left. I have several songs left to record. And then I don't know. I may start another solo album, I guess. But I always like to keep busy. So as soon as the AZ album is done, then I'll figure out what I'm going to do next. Yeah.
Right. Well, we've been spending some time here with Ray Alder. The band is called North Sea Echoes. The record is called Really Good Terrible Things. It's out everywhere on February 23rd. And I know it's early, but I'm already this will be one of my top 5 records of the year.
That's great. Thanks, man.
I just,
Thank you.
like I said, it moved me in a way that I haven't been in a long time by a record. So
Thank you, man. Thank you. And I know it's not heavy metal. I know it's not, and it's just not what we're aiming for. Again, something. Sorry, motorcycle. But that's just, again, that's where it comes from. It's music from the heart, from the mind. It really is. And I hope. I'm glad you enjoyed. I hope other people enjoyed as much as you do.
Well,
Really
great. Thank you so much. Look forward to hopefully catching you on the road, if not with Fates at the end of the year, hopefully before that with something else.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot,
I appreciate your time. Take care.